Excuse me, can I help you?
Oh no, I'm just looking.
Oh, I see.
It was charming and romantic. I enjoyed the writing and thought that the tension was nicely drawn to help tell the story. And the backdrop of, New York, the family scene out on the walkway with the city skyline in the back was nicely done, and the soundtrack was really good. The setting of the clothing shop was a terrific idea for this particular piece. And it's a little sad in the end when you find out it's a fantasy, but I like the way the character thought it through, even at the part where his family is in attendance for the engagement. That was so sweet.
This takes us on a window shopping spree. We follow our lead while he gets lost in this beautiful vintage store. I loved the wide shots so that we could really get a sense of the atmosphere and space between these characters. Across the way, we see another man casually shopping about in the store. We enter this dream sequence of what if this blossoms into a relationship? It really begs the question of what brought this man to the store in the first place. At times when I find myself window shopping, it's to kind of get out of my head from an issue that I might be facing. Getting lost in other fantasies can come into play with trying to cope from facing the bigger issue at play here. We get a snap back to reality as the retailer asks if he needs any assistance, emphasizing that these moments were all stories that he created in his own mind. This relationship was merely a figment of his imagination, a hopeless romantic nonetheless.
It took the concept of, window shopping and seeing something you like and imagining your future, with whatever it is, and instead of clothing or a bag or whatever, for this man, it's a partner, and I think that's really beautiful. And you see this full story unfold, and see his hopes and for what this could be, and his future with it, only to find out in the end, he's been imagining this all along. I think it's such a beautiful. It's like heartfelt and a little blue at the end when you realize that he's just thinking this through. But I feel like so many of us have been there. I think New York was a beautiful setting for it. I think window shopping in New York is very, very big. So to have it within this setting makes it something about setting it in New York makes it very whimsical, and a feeling of like anything can happen. It was just a lovely story.
Cool establishing shots of the location. Great location choice. The understated sexual tension and nervousness are very apparent in the subtext of the dialogue when they meet, as strangers in the store. And then I love that we get to see the relationship through moments, like these flashing memories that kind of go through your mind when you think about a pleasant time in your life or someone pleasant in your life. And the love is definitely evident. But what I thought was really an interesting choice is that we find out it's all a daydream. And it's just so relevant because as I'm watching it, I'm thinking, oh, this is so nice. But this is just stuff that like you think is going to happen when you go in a grocery store. You think it's going to happen when you go in a store, when you see someone across the store. But it just never really happens, does it? They never approach us. We never get to have that awkward romantic comedy moment. And it almost is like I call them movie moments because they happen all the time in movies, but we kind of in our real lives expect for them to happen, but they don't really happen. And so as I'm watching it, I'm thinking, this is just such a movie moment. This doesn't happen in real life. And then to find out it's all a daydream was so relevant because I'm like, yes, this is exactly how it happens in real life. You see the cute guy across the way. You think, oh my gosh, what if he approaches me? What if this is my husband? What if I'm about to meet the love of my life in this moment? And then you play out this epic romantic comedy in your head, and you hear the serenades and the symphonies and the violins and all that stuff. And in reality, it happens, and it's nothing like that. He walks by you, doesn't say anything. His girlfriend pops up. He ends up not being into girls or whatever. And all this is so relevant.
I love the performances of the two leads as they gradually get closer and closer. So many sweet touches showing their love and affection for one another. Very believable locations and activities in the film where they hang out and also socialize with their friends. Great pace and direction. I would love to see more of this story in a feature. Excellent job.
It's a really funny short film. I love the premise of it and the concept and the way it was executed.